How should we think about side hustles when it comes to our personal finances, whether it's using that money to save more money or pay off debt or maybe reach another financial goal? Okay, so are side hustles worth it? Before we get into that, I want to talk about how these videos are going to work because I'm building my personal finance community in public daily with these videos. So the first thing I want to do is go through the YouTube comments and just see, kind of treat it like a YouTube Q&A where I'm giving you guys immediate value. Then we're going to be talking about things that are on my mind to help you reach your financial goals faster. And the subtext here is like, are side hustles actually worth it? Can they help you do the thing? Because it's a very buzzy term and stuff on online and social media and all this stuff. And people are making $1,000 doing this and $500 a month doing this. And it's just like, is it worth it? And, because you have to think about your time as well involved in this. And then we're going to talk about some community activity stuff going on inside of my personal finance community, Dollar Discipline University. The link's down below if you want to check it out. But let's dive into first any YouTube comments that we have. And we do have one, which is kind of why I am making this video today. So a few months ago, I had the strategy of I'm going to make sort of personal finance challenge content. And I did a series where I delivered Uber Eats for 7 days. It was over actually like maybe 12 or 14 actual days. It wasn't consecutive days. But I ended up doing 20 hours in that time. And I kind of want to go into that specifically and then talk about side hustles in general. So Stampin' PRN, I appreciate this 3-part series. I was curious about whether it was worth it or not. Yeah. So I'm going to answer that question, reply to him in a second. But let's go into the numbers here. So when I did that challenge, so we're going to do, I have a couple things that I've done recently as part of this, like my old YouTube strategy, but that sort of changed. I'm now doing this daily thing. So not Uber Eats, let's do side hustles or like slash money making. Okay. Let's make this smaller. There we go. So the first thing we can talk about is this Uber Eats, the thing that I did. So I did 20 hours over. It was over 7 days, but really it was like 12 days with all my commitments to my family. I have a 9-to-5 job, the school community. So I couldn't do consecutive days, unfortunately, but close enough. It still gave a good idea. So in those 12 days over the 20 hours, I made about $280. And then really after expenses like gas, which I was trying to keep track of, I ended up actually making like $250. So if we do the math on that, $250 divided by the 20 hours equals it was about $12.50 per hour. Now a lot of people would sit there and be like, wow, that is not worth it at all, right? Because if you're thinking about your 9-to-5 job or however you make money, and you think about your hourly rate, I would probably say most people make more than this, because I was doing some research after I found this out, and it's like, what is USA federal minimum wage? So it's $7.25 an hour, and then what is USA minimum wage by state? These numbers were kind of more all over the place. Yeah, so it's just kind of all over the place. I think what I found is like some states are adopting the 725, and it could go anywhere up to like the $15 range. So $7 to $15. So this action for me, in my personal experience, is basically a minimum wage job or side hustle. So a lot of people would just poo-poo that instantly and be like, oh, it's not worth my time. But I think something like this actually makes a ton of sense, because one, there's literally no skills. You just have to like sign up to the platform. You have to have a car and a driver's license and car insurance. So if you already have those things, and then if you probably need your phone, and then you need to just be able to follow instructions. So there's really no skills involved with this. If you've never used it before, you basically just say like, yep, I'm active, and then it finds jobs for you, and then it blinks flashing things on the screen. It's like, hey, do you want to accept this job? And it shows you really quickly how far away it is, how much money you could potentially make for it, and you click either yes or no. And then that cycle just keeps happening over and over again. So basically you click yes, you drive to the place, you pick up the food, right? Everyone understands the concept. So all I'm trying to say here is, in this 20 hours, and obviously results will vary, but like no matter the hourly rate, and you might not think it's worth it, like could you hustle for 20 hours? Could you do it in a week? I mean, I did it over 12 days, but could you do it in a week and make $250 a week? Because now $250 a week, right, for all of us math people, right? 250 times 4 weeks equals $1,000. What would you do with the extra $1,000? We could definitely save more money. We could definitely put that towards paying off our debt. And who cares how much money this, like, who cares the like value of it? If this isn't going to be forever. So I really want you to think that. I also did a challenge where in this video I changed again the concept of my YouTube channel. So I changed it, but I just like sold stuff. I didn't post this video. So what I did was I looked around the house, everything that we had, and I just started putting stuff on eBay, or I started reaching out to specific companies in the area that could really help me. So I ended up making over $700. And it was pretty minimal effort. I just basically made some eBay profiles. I had to go to the post office a couple times. I went to the biggest one that I got was in the music store. So actually this is over $800. A music store. I had an instrument that I played in high school that was actually quite nice. And I sold it for like $600. So not everyone's going to have a $600 thing lying around. And I can actually do probably more things to this too, but it's just like if we're going to be very aggressive with what we do with our money and our what the financial goals, like what hustle can we do in the next 30, 60 days to be able to like stretch out being able to do that. Like if you've never saved $1,000 before, how can you hit the ground running and try and do that? Okay. So you could hustle 20 hours a week for 4 weeks, for example. Maybe your area will be slightly different. I don't know. This was just my experience. But even if it's like $800 in a month, would you take that? Right? Like if you have nothing right now, would you take that? I think a lot of people would. And it's not even if you have nothing. Like if you have something and you just want to get your next $1,000 really quickly, that could be very valuable. How much stuff do we have lying around? I think stuff is like the ultimate enemy, because as we keep buying things, we keep buying new things to support the previous purchase. Right? And it's kind of funny where, so some of our family recently bought new cars, and my wife and I, we drive, so I'm recording this in 2025. I have a 2015, my wife has a 2012, and people are sort of like nudging us like, hey, when are you guys going to buy a new car? Because we have 2 kids and like, there's maybe not a lot of space, but it's like, why would we just go into debt willingly to just have more space? Because then what's going to happen is we're going to have this thing that has more space, and then we're like, oh wow, when we go on vacation now, we need to buy more things because we have all this space, and it just turns into this web of like buy a thing and then buy more things to supplement the previous thing. Right? I see this happen all the time. Like some family members, they have like, nice large houses, but then you can't really tell because they just have so much stuff in it. They just pile it with like furniture and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know if that's really necessary. Like, do we need all of this stuff? We can't even see the walls anymore. The floor, right? I don't know. It's just like, what are we doing? So this is just how I want to think about it. Like, how can we hustle? And then how can we do, how can we hustle or sell stuff or whatever to really figure out kind of what's happening. I wanted to do some other challenges, but again, I stopped doing this kind of content. If I go back to like my content, for example, I did a challenge where I tried to make a whole budget a whole suit for a wedding under $100. I did the Uber Eats thing. I did a dollar store challenge where I tried to eat groceries from a dollar store for a week and just see if it was actually more money or less money. So what can you do to like just hustle, right? Just hustle and try new things. Try new things. I know the text is going over this. Hold on. Try new things. How bad do we want our next $1,000? We could also do other things like ask for a raise. Why are we afraid to do this? I don't know. I was afraid to do this as well, and then it turned out that I realized that, oh, this is actually my life too. It's not just, I don't need to walk on glass. I don't need to tiptoe around the office like, oh, please keep employing me. It's like, no, it's actually a two-way street here. Just like they can replace you, you can replace them, and that's how I feel as well. Because I have a 9 to 5 job, so it's like, what are you doing 9 to 5 job that is keeping me around, right? And money is definitely a big part of it because we all need to live, right? So responsibility, money, and then probably like, I don't know, benefits, time off, whatever. Like those are things that people care about the most. So how can we ask for a raise? And this could be tie it to the value you provide. So this could be things like how do you save your company money, right? This could be how you make the company money, or it could be, hey, I have this new idea to implement one of the two things above, right? So basically, like, hey, I've been working here for a while, and I actually noticed that what we're doing here is pretty inefficient, and I think we could actually save a lot more money by doing this. Or hey, in my experience doing this, I really think we are missing the boat here. We're leaving a lot of money on the table for this company, and I think this is what we could do. So it's all things to think about, like, because I talk to a lot of people in their personal finances, and I think one of the main takeaways that I get a lot of times is people just feel their mindset is they feel like they are stuck in maybe the income that they have, and it's like, so when I go through like kind of my questions just to feel out where the person is in the process, one of the questions is, like, why do you think you're like, what's the main reason why you think you're in the personal finance situation that you are? Whether that's like you think you're, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? And a lot of times people just don't think they make enough. So they try to work their life around the money that they make, when in reality that could change at any moment. Like you could just start making more money. People do it all the time. So I don't want you to box yourself into thinking that you make this specific dollar amount and then your life is tied to that. Like you can change things. You can learn new skills. You can try to ask for a raise here. And guess what? If you ask for a raise and you have some pretty good backup as to why you think it's gonna make sense, and they say no, then that just gives you an answer like, okay, maybe this company isn't worth working for anymore because I am more valuable than this. And then you take your experience and you go to learn a new industry. You go in the same industry and just pivot that way. I've worked for 4 different companies over the last 10 years, and I found the way I make the most money is just by leaving jobs, because for some reason, in my experience, I've just found that you're more likely to get a raise from a new company. Like it costs a new company more because they're willing to pay for good talent than it does for someone trying to keep you internally. They just like give you just enough. That's been my experience. So whenever that's happened to me and I feel like I'm just not going anywhere, I do what's best for me, not what's best for them. It's a two-way street, okay? So I want everyone to remember that. So let me know down in the comments of this video, guys, what side hustles are you currently doing? What are you doing for extra money? How are you hustling out there? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. So let's go to some community activity. In my community, Dollar Discipline University, it is to help people save more money, pay off debt, gain more confidence, maybe just learn the technical skills of like, hey, how do I budget? Hey, how do I look at my debt and try and figure out everything that's going on with it? Like maybe you just don't know what to do and how to do it. So that's what this is. I have a lot of free resources in here, including spreadsheets. If you like spreadsheets, I have a software that I made just for the personal finance community that I own, Dollar Discipline University. It's called Wealthway. Again, I made it myself. It is a budget tracker. It is a debt tracker, and it's a pretty standard operation here. This is like what you're looking at now is like the basically the original version. every month I'm just getting feedback from users, and this is just, I'm going to make this one of the best software apps for budgeting, and I'm not going to charge anyone inside the community for it, which is pretty cool. Because a lot of people charge, I don't know, monthly. A lot of people charge annually. So it could be anywhere from like $7 to $12 a month. It could be anywhere from like 70 to 120 a year. So I just think it's pretty cool to give back. And yeah, I think everyone should have the opportunity to be able to see, have all the bells and whistles for their finances, and also see kind of what's been going on in their finances instead of going behind a paywall. Like, imagine having to budget for your budgeting software. It's like, okay, now I got to budget for my budget. It's like, what are we talking about here? So this is me giving back to the people inside the community. I also have a 2-day sprint. Sorry about that. To help you find more money in your finances. So if you're not knowing where to go, I have this 2-day call window. It's basically over 48 hours. And if you join the community, I don't promise any results, but what I try to do is have you find hidden money in your finances, your first $100 to $300 a month. Those are some of the kind of average results that I'm seeing in the community. So we're going to see where your money's been going, how to realign your money to things that matter the most, and how to keep that momentum month after month. All three of these things are so important together, and without one of them, this thing falls apart. So imagine where you're like, okay, I now know where my money's going. Great, I can now realign the resources that I do have to the things that matter to me the most, and maybe shift it away from things that matter less. But then you don't know how to keep the momentum month after month, and you fall off after 2 months. And then 5 months after that, you're like, oh my God, that's it. My finances, what's going on here? And then you have to go back through this process, but you don't know how to keep it going, right? Or imagine you knew where your money was going and you knew how to figure that out month after month, but you didn't know how to realign it to the things that mattered most. So now every month you're stuck at the end of the month thinking like, wow, where did I know where it went, but like, what do I do how do I save more money? How do I pay off debt? So it's like, okay, well now this is missing. And then imagine you didn't know where your money was going, right? And you were putting money towards the things that matter to you the most, and you knew how to keep doing that every month. But at the end of the day, like you didn't have the foundational skill of like, maybe I could be doing more money than what I'm doing, right? And that's just an interesting way to think about it. So how this is going to work, once you join the community, I'm basically going to be inviting you to the next one. So I did one this week. It's already started. Day 1 and day 2 happened here, which was awesome. So say were you to join today, Saturday the 6th, for example. There's another one coming up here. There's another one here. There's another one here. There's going to be one every week. And I'm trying to shift the days and also the times for all of you guys because I know everyone's busy. And these times do reflect sort of America's time zones. So unfortunately, my European, African, Asian, and Oceania friends probably won't be able to attend these, but if there's enough interest from, I'm going to say the rest of the world for my sake, then I will figure out a time to do that. Maybe my weekend slot will be like a super early time for me, and it would be like midday or evening for you guys. So just something to consider. But the reason why I think this is so important, after speaking to dozens and dozens and dozens of people with their personal finances, using this process. So like Angie was able to pay off $20,000 of debt in a year, which is nuts. Zane went from negative cash flow to paying off $5,000 debt in 3 months. And Janine took just 30 days to pay off one credit card that was over $1,000. A credit card that she didn't think she thought it would take like 6 months to pay it off. And she did this whole process and she's like, oh wow, I can actually just pay this off right now. So really cool. This is like literally the fastest way I know possible to reach the goals that you want to reach. If I knew a better way, I would be sharing that as well. This is the best way that I know. So I'm doing these videos daily, guys. Make sure to check out the community, Dollar Discipline University. The link's down in the description. I mean, just check out all the different people here that are posting wins and stuff like that in here. It's so cool. For a while, it was just my stupid yellow face here just popping up because I would be the only one posting. But now we have a lot more people just kind of doing stuff in here and getting wins. So if that interests you, let me know. Join the community. Tell me you came from YouTube. And I'm doing these videos daily, so I'll see you tomorrow.